the House. Now, Sri Sitaram Yechury.
In the last 3 days, I have risen. This is the third occasion. I am rising with a degree of agony, anxiety, anger at what is happening in the Kashmir Valley. हमने सत्ता पक्ष की तरफ से सुना जो बोले हमारे कोलीग, लेकिन बात हुई है वहाँ पर जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर, जम्मू प्रांत में, लद्दाख प्रांत में, बाकी प्रांतों में विकास किस तरीके से होगा, इसके बारे में बात हुई। बहुत गंभीर बात है, उसके बारे में चर्चा होनी चाहिए। लेकिन आज हम लोग सब यहाँ पर ये चर्चा कर रहे हैं कि हालात क्या है कश्मीर के घाटी में। टुडे इज द 32nd day of the curfew, sir. 32 days of continuous curfew, every day firing taking place, every day somebody being killed, every day you have people being injured. Why is this agony and pain continuing unrelenting in the valley, and how can you stop it? That is the issue before us. We are not talking of the old packages for Kashmir that all of us have announced and why they are not being implemented. They are important. It's the development of the other regions of Jammu and Ladakh, they are important. But right now the issue is what is happening in the valley and why are we not able to control it.
Nobody from the Home Ministry is here, sir. Yeah. But taking note is coming. Nobody from the Home Ministry. Taking note. Nobody, not even MOS. Somebody from the Home Ministry should be here.
Sitaram ji, Ramesh ji, I'm taking note. It is coming. Jairam ji ki.
आप दो चार होम मिनिस्टर ले लीजिए ना, आप दो चार एमओएस ले लीजिए ना, क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
कोई नहीं है।
मैं दो चार एमओएस आप इंक्लूड कर लीजिए। क्या है ये?
Sir.
Correct.
The concerned minister from the department, unless he has given you in writing, that I will not be there. Unless.
वो MOS है, एक
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Okay.
So start my time from now,
Yeah,
sir.
please.
Don't
Yeah,
deduct.
no.
So I was continuing, sir.
टाइम पर आना चाहिए, सर। चलिए कोई बात नहीं।
Sir, I am continuing with the same anguish, the same anger, the same anxiety, that what is happening after 32 days of curfews. We have not yet come to any way of trying to find a solution to the situation there. I've suggested the last 2 days, stop using of these pellet guns, start the political process, call an all-party meeting in Delhi, call a meeting there in Jammu and Kashmir, consult all shades of opinion, and start this process of a political dialogue without which there cannot be a solution. Unfortunately, till now, this has not happened, and I again demand that this should be done immediately. Of course, there is a question of Pakistani interference, cross-border infiltration. There'll be all the questions are always there, and we have always, I think this whole House, the whole Parliament, the whole country has without any hesitation said that there is something that must be stopped. We always stood against it, we will stand against it. They have no business to interfere. That's a different question. But remember, sir, I want you to listen to this point.
I'm listening, yeah.
Even a vulture, when it dips down to eat on the carcass, it comes down only when it smells blood. Only when it smells blood that there is a dead carcass, the vulture comes down to feed on that carcass. That blood is being spilled, and we are allowing vultures across the body to come and feed on that. Why is that blood being spilled? Why is there a trust deficit today in the valley? Why is there amongst the people a degree of alienation? That is the question that needs to be addressed. We have to stop this violence, that is one aspect. But address the trust deficit. Why is that trust deficit happening? Sir, remember, we have to ponder why the people of Kashmir, who at the time of our independence fought against the Pakistani raiders, men and women, to defend our independence, ignoring the religious affiliation of the people. Everywhere in North India, particularly Punjab and in Bengal, you had a communal Holocaust. You had Mahatma Gandhi not here at the Red Fort when our flag was flying on the day of independence. He was there on a hunger strike to stop the communal riots at Noakhali and in Bengal. But in Kashmir, there was not a single communal clash. Please remember that. They started with that aspiration of independence and coming and joining India and overthrowing the feudal oppression there. The only state in the country where the land of the landlords was confiscated without compensation and given to the tiller of the land. Only state. You signed it. There was a Maharaja who signed that bill, who is sitting here with us. The only state, sir. The aspiration was for a prosperity, for a unity, maintaining that uniqueness of what is called the Kashmiriyat. We have talked about that uniqueness of that Kashmiriyat, sir. I've said it here a number of times. I've said to Dr. Saab, who was then the Maharaja of the Dogra Empire, at that point of time, when you had the Pari Mahal, and he said it's opposite his house. On the other side of Pari Mahal, diagonally opposite, you have the Shankaracharya. You had a culture where all religions were intermingling with each other, and it was at that Pari Mahal that Dara Shikoh, who ought to have been the Mughal Badshah. That's a different story of history. But that is where he was inspired to write the treatise called Majma'ul Bahrain, the mingling of two oceans, of Sufism and Vedanta, and how both of them are mingled together for the sake of advancing humanity. That is Kashmiriyat, sir. No communal clashes. The unity, that wuhud, that wuhud, as it's called, that unity of purpose of life, what is it? That is that Kashmiriyat that you are talking about that has to be kept in mind. Why are these people today alienated? We need to address that question. If you do not, we've talked of Article 370. Many say, why is it only for Jammu and Kashmir, Article 370? You have Article 371. You have Article 371 A, B, C, D. I am a beneficiary of Article H. It goes up to H. I am a beneficiary of one of those articles which deal with Telangana. Now the state is divided. That's a different point. At that point of time, you defined who is a domicile. It was called a mulki. A mulki certificate was given. An Andhraite, but a mulki in Telangana. Constitution provided me that special right. So Article 370 is not unique only for J&K. We have that for many states in the Northeast. You had it for other parts of the states in our country. So what did you promise them? That autonomy, which one of the Indian Prime Ministers said, the sky is the limit for that autonomy. You know which Prime Minister I'm talking about? Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao. But he said sky is the limit. We've heard the repetition of what Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee said, of that Insaniyat, Kashmiriyat and Jamhuriyat. Democracy, humanity, humanism, and your Kashmiriyat. The leader of the opposition has correctly said that being repeated by somebody who doesn't carry that credibility today doesn't make any sense. That's correct. But remember, sir, it was not only the slogans that Mr. Vajpayee gave. Mr. Vajpayee, on the 19th of November 2000, declared what is called famously known as the Ramzan ceasefire. He talked with the Hizbul Mujahideen and declared a unilateral ceasefire from India. Mr. Vajpayee did that. And then on January 22nd, 2004, Mr. Lal Krishna Advani, as the Deputy Prime Minister, as the Home Minister of India, he calls a roundtable meeting, going out of the way, calls the leaders of the separatist movement to Delhi for a discussion. The same BJP government, sir. So mere slogans are not sufficient. What is your concrete action? What are you proposing now? How do you want to carry this process forward? if Mr. Vajpayee can declare a unilateral ceasefire, if Mr. Advani can call a roundtable meeting with Hizbul Mujahideen and the separatists, what is preventing this government from initiating the political dialogue and the political process? I told you, as far as Pakistan is concerned, on that there is absolutely no different shade of opinion. But then with Pakistan, is it not our job to shame Pakistan in the international fora? To tell them how they are interfering in our independent affairs of our country? What are you doing with that Indo-Pak dialogue? Blow hot, blow cold? When you want to wish happy birthday, you suddenly land in Islamabad. And then after that, you stop all these talks. These can only be, and it's already been said. My friend Mr. Sharad Yadav has already said it. By giving your nuclear parity to Pakistan, you cannot have the option of any war with them. What are they? Diplomatic channels. Well, how are we using them? Are we using them? So there is that trust deficit among the people in Kashmir is for a string of betrayals of the promises that we have made. I have here a whole book of documents. If you want, I'll give it to the Home Minister to refresh his memory. They must be there in his files. I have here all the working group records. One of these working groups was headed by our chairman, our honorable chairman at that time, in 2007. All the recommendations are here. These also I'll give to the government if they want to refresh their memory. Then after 2010, we sent an all-party delegation. I told you yesterday, leader of the house was there, I was there. We all went there. After that, we met the leaders, the Hurriyat leaders. Government was not very happy, but we insisted, we went there and we met them. And then the situation was returning to normalcy. We appointed a team of interlocutors. The team of interlocutors was announced in this house. The team of interlocutors gave their report. Where is that report? Why is it not being placed in the house when it was decided in the house and announcement made here? What are those recommendations? Unless you address this central question of the promises made to the people of Kashmir at the time of independence and the string of betrayals that have happened since then, I can go through the history if you want to. Hear that, sir. What all happened? What was the 1953 understanding? What happened subsequently with the Sheikh? The arrest of the Sheikh. What happened to that? And after his untimely death, how a democratically elected government was toppled? All those issues we can go into, but that's not the point. That won't solve the problem today. The problem today can be solved only if you initiate this political dialogue on the central issue of the promises made to the people of Kashmir. How are you going to implement that? And on that, I've been urging them, sir, I've been urging this government all along that these attacks, that this can only come through an atmosphere of trust. If there's a trust deficit, you have to create an atmosphere of trust. If every day you start saying abrogate Article 370, are you creating trust? If every day you say in the name of Gauraksha, I am going to kill, and you hang 2 Muslim youth in Latehar in Jharkhand on a false allegation, you murder Akhlaq in Dadri on a false allegation, is that creating trust? Love jihad, ghar wapsi, all this atmosphere that is created in the whole country is actually vitiating that trust. I want this government to seriously ponder it, because the point is to solve the problem in Kashmir, which is actually a wound for all of us. It is paining all of us, and it should be paining the whole of India. How do you address that point? Create that trust. To create that trust, you will have to have that credibility in creating that trust. Merely repeating what Atal Bihari Vajpayee said is not going to create that trust. Create that trust by your behavior, create the trust by stopping this entire campaign saying abrogate Article 370, create that trust by stopping this communal polarization that is taking the country, and only then can we actually create the conditions that why, when we went in 2010 to Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, we were told that at best there are only 200 to 300 militants. Today, the official Home Ministry's assessment is there something to the tune of 3,000 to 4,000. Why did they grow? Why did this happen? Please, unless you address that central question of that political trust deficit and address these important issues of the promises made to them on the question of autonomy, on the question of Article 370, on the question of Article 370, I don't think we can resolve this thing. So what is to be done, sir? I urge this government once again, please discuss all these issues and discuss them with an open mind. Don't fix up any agenda of that nature which is limiting. Discuss that with an open mind, listen to all the ideas, and within the framework of what we have promised Kashmir, the state of Jammu and Kashmir at the time of accession to the Indian Union, we'll have to remove all the inadequacies that have happened in the past. At least start addressing that issue. That is absolutely important. For that confidence building is required, and for that, first take all the political parties here in the parliament on board. Call them together and discuss this issue. Then you call all the forces like Mr. Vajpayee did, like Mr. Advani did. You call all these forces and discuss with them. And then you please consider sending an all-party delegation to give that confidence to the people that we are there. We are concerned about these issues which have remained unresolved so far. And that, sir, is what is required right now. So therefore, I might end by only re-urging the government. Please start this process of political dialogue. And please talk it on. Please stop this pellegance if you want, sir. Yesterday I told you I am ashamed to show you this photograph, but I'll show you.
I saw it.
You saw it?
I saw it.
Look at this. What is this?
Inside photo also I saw.
I know, inside photos I'm not opening. But what is this, sir? I mean, how are you going to get any trust of the people if you show this?
Now, please.
Stop this and immediately start this political process. Please, that is my urging to the government. Thank you.
Thank you.